Hey everybody, this is Bill. Today is Thursday, May the 5th. And last night we had a gully washer of a rain of epic proportions. That's all I can say. And consequently, because of that, the lake, Beaver Lake in northwest Arkansas, has risen to one of the highest levels that Deb and I has ever seen in the last 3 years. Now this right here, that is site number 1, and you can see where the water is right up to the edge. If the lake rises another foot, that site is underwater. I just heard though that they have opened the floodgates, so maybe, just maybe, it won't continue to rise. But usually under normal circumstances the water level is a good 4 feet lower than that. Usually you've got a good 4-foot drop off the edge of site number 1 to the water. And see this light pole right here. Now a couple days ago the water was just like 2 or 3 feet past the light pole, and now you can see it's it's come up quite a ways. And then of course if you look at the loading dock over here, a couple of days ago you could easily step onto the catwalk here without getting your feet wet. Well, that ain't gonna happen today. Of course they'll probably come out and try to pull the loading dock in a little bit so folks can make use of it, especially for the weekend coming up, but we'll see what the water levels do. But it really came down in buckets last night. I mean, came down in buckets. And of course when the storm hit there was a lot of high winds. We were concerned about our gazebo, but it held up just fine. The trailer shook a little bit, and then rain. I've never heard it come down that hard at all. And of course this is the end result. So anyway, we're going to go back up to our site now. Fortunately, this particular campground, which is Lost Bridge North Campground, all the sites except for site number 1 that I just showed you are terraced up the hill here, so the water would really, well, the water would never get to that point. That's just all there is to it. Water would never get to that point where, you know, these sites would be covered up. But it is my understanding that at other campgrounds around the lake, like Horseshoe Bend, which is a very popular campground on Beaver Lake, several sites are underwater there. So folks that had a weekend plan there probably won't be able to go if they had a site next to the, you know, on the water's edge. And then let's see, Lost Bridge South Campground. Our friends Marvin and Mary camped out at a spot there last summer, and that particular site is way underwater now, along with several others that are along the edge there. But like I say, these sites here shouldn't be affected. It would really have to come up a long ways. This is site number 2, by the way, which is a very popular site. It's a pull-through site, just so you'll know. And yeah, you got a ways to go before rising water would affect this. If it gets to the point that it's putting this particular site underwater, the campground will be closed because you couldn't even drive down to it because of the way the road goes. But anyway, even though we had the heavy rain and the heavy thunderstorm last night, and even though it's cloudy and they're saying there's another heavy rainstorm on the way, just look at that view though. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Site number 2 has a beautiful view here. Anyway, we're going to head up to our site and we'll be right back. This is site number 7 right here. These folks have been here all week, and look at the view they have there at site number 7. And we never had an opportunity to visit because, you know, the weather wasn't conducive to it. We say hi as they walk by during the break in the rain and stuff like that. But then finally, just a little while ago, we got to visit with them. turns out that they've been full-timing as well for a lot longer than Deb and I have. And we had a wonderful conversation about things, and they have solar on top of their rig as well, lithium iron phosphate batteries. And boy, it's a shame we just couldn't have visited longer, because they seem like an awesome couple, that's for sure. But anyway, you can see the view here off of site 8 right here. And then of course, here's our site, and Deb's working at packing a little bit of stuff away. I've got to jump in there and help her here in just a little bit. But see, we're way high off the water, so it's not going to affect us. Site number 9 here. Yes? I don't know. What? You're just working away here and making me feel bad.
Well, trying to get stuff packed up while it's still halfway dry.
Before the next gully washer comes?
Before the next rain comes.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to put stuff away wet, but I may not have a choice.
Yeah, I fear that could be the case. Fortunately, though, according to AccuWeather, but we know AccuWeather is so accurate, beginning tomorrow, we're supposed to have beautiful weather.
Yeah.
You know, we were here for 2 weeks, and we only had maybe 3 or 4 pretty days out of the whole 2 weeks. But beginning tomorrow, it's supposed to be pretty for a full week at least.
It's the way it always works.
I know. But we've enjoyed our stay here, and we'll be back to this area.
Absolutely.
I'm going to walk down here and show them our little
waterfall?
Our waterfall here. That's a result of the heavy rain. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll be right back.
All right.
Yeah, we've had this little babbling brook behind the trailer the whole time we've been here. But I wish I could have showed it to you a couple hours ago, but I was in the middle of doing some other stuff, because it was a raging torrent a couple of hours ago. But this brook here, actually it's more like a wet weather spring, starts way up on top of the hill. I like to say way up on top of the mountain, but then some people giggle when I say that. But yeah, we have tall hills that qualify to be mountains here in Israel. But you can see how pretty that is. How it's flowing through here, but it was a real raging torrent earlier this morning. And with all the doors closed and everything in the trailer, and even with the music playing, we could hear it roaring. It was quite making a lot of noise. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? That's it. Alright, let's head back up to the house. If you give me a second, I'll jump in there and help you with some of this. Of course, there ain't a whole lot to do now, just wait for stuff to dry out, huh?
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at.
Oh. You didn't get much sleep last night, did you, with all the storming and the rain?
No, the thunder and the lightning and the wind, I do not like wind. This time the wind was hitting us to make the trailer do a little shake. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it's just enough that, you know, it would start to die down, and I'd think, okay, good, now I can go to sleep, and boom, here we go again.
I know. I know. It was...
So, no, storms are not my fave. I
understand. But the thing about it is, this trailer, because we've been in high winds with this 2 or 3 times now.
Yes. Yeah. And normally you don't...
Right.
It doesn't affect her here, so I can only imagine. The good news is the Gazelle was still standing when we got up this morning. Well,
you know, we've done several videos on how we recommend that you anchor the Gazelle.
Yeah, but I just thought with the wind like it was last night, it wouldn't be there this morning.
we had at least 50-mile-an-hour gusts, and Deb was a little concerned, and opened the door, and it was still there.
Yep.
So, awesome. Awesome. Well, shall we tell them the bad news?
Yeah, that's the other thing that hit us on the way home last night from friends.
Yeah, on the way home last night, you know, that we serviced the transmission on the van and we thought everything was going to be okay and it was shifting fine. And last night she started acting up again. So probably going to be a change in plans of our travels. So we're going to be here for a little bit longer.
So we're still working on that plan.
Yeah, we're still working on it. We found a decent price on one with a transmission company out of Oklahoma City, of all places.
Yes.
But of course they won't ship it until we're able to send them the money. So that means we're just going to be hanging around here for a little bit longer before we take off again. But the van, she's done wonderful. We really do love our van. And, you know, we'd much rather spend the money to put another transmission in her rather than try to buy a new one and have $700-800 a month.
Oh, we can't afford that in our budget.
No, not right now. Not right now. But, you know, if you were to subscribe, and, you know, we never asked for subscribers, but maybe it's time we started asking for people to subscribe. But anyway, so, you know, I feel comfortable with it. Staying close to the area with folks that I'm familiar with in case I needed help. So we may end up being here for, you know, 2 or 3 weeks longer than we originally anticipated before we take off on our adventure up north. But we're definitely going to be doing that. It's just going to take a little longer before we leave.
It's just that, you know.
Hey, sometimes you just have to drop back and pump.
That's right. Life, you know, sometimes get totally
in
the way.
Yeah. But fortunately, we're in a beautiful area. You know.
We're in a beautiful area, and friends and family are close by.
Yeah. And my mechanic is close by.
And our mechanic
yeah,
is close by.
Yeah.
And this could have happened towing the trailer down the road somewhere, and it didn't.
Yeah, so that's good.
So there's things.
Yeah.
As always, you can look at, you know.
Oh yeah, it's just part of this life, you know. You roll with the punches and you keep on going.
Because you have no choice.
That's right. But anyway, we will be going to a new spot tomorrow over on Table Rock Lake, and we will be, you know, posting some videos there. We stopped by there for a little bit yesterday because it's not very far from here, and it turns out that we've got some really good internet service over there. So that means that we might be going live next week.
We'll see.
We'll just have to see how things go, see how the weather is and everything else. Anyway, we're going to let you go for now. This is Bill and Deb with I Ride Tiny House Adventures. And you know what we're going to say. We're not camping.
We're living.
Y'all get out there, do some living. It's a lot better than this most of the time, we promise.
Hey, this is just real life.
Yeah, it's just part of it. Hey. But anyway, we'll see you again soon. This is Bill and Deb again saying we're not camping.
We're living.
And we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.